Good afternoon, everybody. Hope that you enjoyed the break as well as Bulgaria. I am Dr. Haleama Al Sabbah from Zayed University in Dubai, UAE, United Arab Emirates. Today I will do a presentation from one of my projects, research projects at Zayed University, Prevalence of Overweight, Obesity and Anemia among female students at Zayed University. Hope that you will enjoy it. So the outline for my presentation, it will be introduction, objectives, methods, results and conclusion. For the introduction, what does it mean by obesity and overweight? The words overweight and obesity are ways to describe having too much body fat. And obesity is defined as excess weight that may impair health. And how we measure obesity and overweight? So we measure obesity and overweight by a measurement called body mass index. Do you know what does it mean by body mass index, or how we can calculate body mass index? Any of you knows? What is body mass index? Yes? What is it? You know? It's weight and height. Yes, the relationship between weight and height is, yes. So it is body mass index defined as weight in kilogram divided by the height in meter square. Yes. And it is categorized into different categories and according to the WHO. How we can categorize a person if he is obese or overweight or underweight. So according to the WHO categories, this than 18.5 is underweight, and from 18.5 to 24.9 is normal weight. So you can calculate your body mass index and see where you fit in these categories. 25 to 29.9 overweight, and 30 to 34.9 moderate obesity, and over that it's obesity or morbid obesity that you have to seek for treatment. So the risk factors contributing to obesity, people they do not know or they do not choose to be obese, but many people, many factors lead to obesity. One of these factors, large portion of meals with low prices, and the smokers who tend to quit smoking, gastrointestinal diabetes, and genetics or hereditary, lack of physical activity, and lack of sleep. The consequences of obesity and overweight, it may lead to breast cancer, stroke, type 2 diabetes, colon cancer, and liver disease, and abdominal cancer, in addition to sleep apnea. So what is anemia? Because there is a relationship also between obesity and anemia. Anemia is defined as the condition in which the number of red blood cells and consequently their oxygen carrying capacity is insufficient to meet the body's physiologic needs. So the specific physiologic needs vary with person's age, gender, smoking behaviors, and different stage of pregnancy. The iron deficiency anemia is thought to be the most common cause of anemia globally, and the prevalence of anemia is an important health indicator, and when it is used with other measurements of iron status, the hemoglobin concentration can provide information about the severity of iron deficiency according to the WHO in 2007. And hemoglobin, how we can measure or how we can diagnose anemia is by the hemoglobin level, the most commonly used measurements for anemia. So to categorize also if you are anemic or not, the WHO also has its own categories. And for the specific population that I am working with is the non-pregnant women who are 15 years of age and above. So the adult women who are not pregnant. So the cut-off points for the hemoglobin level is 120 or higher gram per liter. So obesity and anemia, both anemia and obesity are global epidemics affecting billions with regional disparities. And obesity may promote iron deficiency anemia by inhibiting or the inhibition of daily iron uptake from the duodenum. And several analyses demonstrated lower serum iron concentration with higher body mass index, particularly in women. So in UAE, for the significance of this study, obesity remains a major health issue for individuals residing in the UAE. And UAE ranked number 18 on a list of the world's fattest countries, and estimating 68.3% of its citizens to be overweight. And about 1.8 million people could suffer from diabetes in the UAE in the next few years, according to Prevalence 2015. And 60% females are already obese or overweight. So the objective of my research was to assess the prevalence of overweight, obesity, and anemia and their associations with eating habits, physical activity, and the total body fat among female students at Zayed University. The methods, we did the cross-sectional study conducted on 251 female students at Zayed University in Dubai, and the data collection was using a self-reported questionnaire consisted of questions regarding eating habits, physical activities, and also we measured the weight, height, and waist circumference and hemoglobin level for the participated students. We use the measuring tape, stadiometer, and also HomoQ analyzer and Tanita to analyze, to measure all these parameters. So these are the machines that we were using. This one is the measuring, the weighing scale, and this one is Tanita, that where we measure the percentage of fat. Tanita also, and here is the HomoQ, where we measure the blood, the hemoglobin level. So the sampling, we have the population of Zayed University, about 4,000 students at Zayed University. We selected the women, about 2,500. So from those, we selected about to have 200 to 400 students to be participated. But our sample resulted in 251 female students participated in this study. So the data collection, the questionnaire was piloted on 20 students who are not in the sample of the population, and the participation was voluntary, and also we obtained the ethical clearance and the ethical approval from the University Ethical Committee. The data analysis was done by using SPSS version 22, and for the results, we found that the prevalence, the prevalence of overweight and obesity together, it was 29.3%. For the overweight alone, it was 17.4%, and for the obesity, it was 11.9%, as it is shown here. And for anemia, it was 18.1% from the participated students. Also, we measure, as I said, the waist circumference, and for the waist circumference, it was about it was 8.5% that the students considered that they have abdominal obesity. No significant relationship was found between hemoglobin level and body mass index, waist circumference, body fat percentage, eating habits, physical activity, or number of sleeping hours. But we found a relationship between the fat percentage, the cutoff point for fat percentage when they are obese, with the hemoglobin level, and also a relationship between reported with the heavy period and anemia. And also 44% of the participated students reported that they do not practice any kind of exercise. This table shows the demographic information for the participated students. And I categorize the age to be less than or equal 20 years old. There was 57.7%, and those who are more 20 years old, there were 42.3%. And also the academic level, the economic status, most or the majority of the students, they reported that they are from the moderate economic status, and the majority also they were single. Only 7.6% were married. And also, I couldn't find a relationship between the demographic information and weight status, but there was at the borderline that there was a relationship between age and hemoglobin level, as it is shown in this one by using chi-square test. And this figure shows that the anemia was prevalent more among the obese students more than other students. This table also shows the relationships between some of the characteristics of the students with weight status and hemoglobin level. And we found many relationships between the, for example, for the weight circumference with the weight status, and for exercise with both hemoglobin level and weight status, and also for the regular meal. If they use regular meal, they have less obesity than others. And also for the dieting to lose weight, also there was a relationship, and they prefer to have junk food. Also there was a relationship in the hemoglobin level. Finally, for the conclusion and the recommendation, overweight and obesity and anemia are prevalent among Zayed University female students, and health promotion and nutritional education programs are needed to reduce the tendency of overweight, obesity and anemia among university female students. And also further studies are needed to investigate in-depth and qualitative studies are needed what are the reasons for anemia and obesity among the university students. Thank you.